my name is Attorney Walter Not III. We just did the top number one reason that we're likely to see a 2021 fourth stimulus around the beginning of December. Then we did the top three reasons. Now we're going to be doing the top five reasons. Top number one reason is that the second Trump stimulus came out in December of 2020. November, we'll likely hear people screaming, Trump gave us something in 2020 of December. Why aren't you, President Biden, giving us something in December of 2021? Number two, the economy has not improved as they all thought it would. We did this, and then we did this, and now we're stuck here. So people are going to be needing money because it's just not going as well with the recovery as people would like to say in the news as it could be, should be, etc. Number three, broke parents are going into the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, etc. And what the problem is that these parents are going to be angry when they can't afford things for their kids. That makes angry people. That means new politicians out with the old, in with the new. Number four, the 2022 elections are almost as much at stake for the Democrats as the 2020 presidential election. And that's because if Biden loses his extremely slim majority, right, because it just takes one seat in the Senate, then he becomes a lame duck president, and he can't do a lot of things that he wants to do. And we talked a little bit about this in the other videos, but the real power of the Democrats is to pass poison pill legislation when it comes to taxation, which is that the IRS can look into your accounts more easily, the IRS can tax you more, the IRS can tax lots of different types of people more. The IRS can tax new areas of income even more. It's just one of those things where it's just more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. This is not uncommon for the Democratic-based functional government. Tax more, spend more. Right? That's not uncommon. We should expect this. This is what the vote for Democrats are. Republicans, it's just a different label and a different thing. It's not better. It's a similar thing. It's just a different way of doing it. So the bottom line is this. What we're seeing is essentially them passing legislation to bribe us. Here's some money. And we're going to pass all these other things at the same time. Most Americans will fall for this because most Americans are not educated at a higher level, especially when it comes to finances, investments, e-investments, taxes, accounting, actuarial, metric data. We're not educated in that. It seems like every year we remove the basic fundamentals of pushing Americans to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. A lot of people think that, places like China, India, they have really bad education. It's actually the opposite. Their education in many regards is superior to ours because they push the students to get as much higher education capabilities as possible. And they've now come out with a report that was basically leaked, or if not leaked, stolen, that China was using basically this program to interact with high-level academia institutions to go ahead and have students be sent over to China with large financial benefits to join their programs over there for the future of science. And then China was, of course, kicked out of the International Space Station, yada yada. But, there's a lot of chess pieces on that board. Number five, the Democrats have dropped, fumbled, tripped over, and fallen with their Biden White House. So one thing that keeps happening is that the Biden White House represents Democrats. It doesn't represent liberals. It represents Democrats. And the problem is that those are two separate things now. You're even seeing some late-night hosts getting on what Biden represents, how Biden can't answer things, how Biden is unable to function with these news conferences, etc. And what this means is that he has to restore faith in the American people that he can govern as the President of the United States. A very high bar, right? And the usual, I hate Trump stuff, I don't want to be around Trump stuff, it's not working anymore. He's been in office too long. Things have been handled poorly. Financial things, military things, let's call it a lot of things, a lot of basic, the only thing he's really nailed has been kind of COVID with a lot of the things he put forward there. So I guess I would say this, and I mean, I'm not saying he nailed that out of the park. I'm just saying compared to the other things that didn't go awry, that was his best thing. That's why he always brings it up. But from somebody who's a disability attorney who made a video reading through every aspect and bullet point of his pre-White House endeavors to raise up those on SSI, to raise up those on retirement, to raise up those on SSDI benefits, those have not materialized. However, we are seeing a new commissioner in place, Commissioner Kijakazi. We are seeing senators coming forward with the SSI Supplemental Security Act, with the Supplemental Security Income Restoration Act, with pushing that agenda to include it into this new bill that they're trying to push. It's part of the 3.5 and 1 trillion, making 4.5 trillion. Big money, big money. So my point to you guys here is that they need a touchdown. The Democrats right now need a touchdown. And, you know, Republicans are not great at riling people up to, like, the Democrats are, they're royalty when it comes to that. When it comes to, like, blaming people and saying, you did this, how dare you do this, or you're terrible, no. They're masters at that. Like, if you look at, like, you know, the balance here between the two parties, the Republicans are completely inadequate when it comes to social media manipulation, when it comes to, like, spinning stuff, when it comes to riling people up or making those little memes that they make sense at first, and then you think about it and you're like, wait a minute, that's not how it actually works. The Republicans are inadequate. They don't know how to keep up with that stuff. They don't know how to be competitive with that stuff. They're just like, they're a decade behind when it comes to that. But the Democrats are masters of online fiasco creation, manipulation, things like that, spin. The Republicans, for that reason, they can't control the emotions of the American people. Like, if you look at the mobs of ancient Rome, they were in the Colosseum screaming, you know, kill the gladiators, stuff like that, even though we now know that the gladiators would rarely kill each other. The real controllers of the mob, that would be the Democrats, because they know how to emotionally manipulate the American people. The Republicans, they don't have it. And I'm not trying to be mean to the Republicans here or the Democrats. The Democrats have mastered a skill that is like every James Bond villain's, you know, dream of how to do it. They've mastered all of the villains' manipulation tactics in every James Bond film. The Republicans, just technologically, I don't know, and, you know, maybe it's just like the Republicans were these old school people and they were just lagging behind and they relied on the old ways of doing things. You know, it's a conservation-oriented organization, you know. But I think what's important to realize here is that the Democrats have to fix the negative view that's going on right now, not only among their party, but among the gray middle area and also the Republicans. I don't think the Republicans have it in them to get people on board with this whole idea of, you know, how terrible the Democrats are versus the Democrats proving how terrible the Republicans are. I don't think anybody can really argue that the Republicans are as good as the Democrats when it comes to getting, like, people emotionally excited about something. Whether that thing was true or not, the Democrats are masters at that. They just are. The Republicans are far, far behind. Which leads me to my point here is that I think a fourth stimulus will be coming because the Democrats have to pull that game again, where they get everybody riled up and excited to either hate the Republicans or to love and want the Democrats. It's going to take a bribe. And I think going back to number one of this list, which is that Trump did it, he put one out in December, which, you know, was a smaller amount one. I think what we're looking at is a situation where the Democrats are going to have to go ahead and do better than that, but then tactically use it to push forward another agenda, which is their whole $3.51 trillion combined $4.5 trillion plan. All right, guys, I'm not looking at the U.S. government the same way anymore. The more I research, the more I realize the manipulation is, and the more I turn into an Elizabeth Warren when it comes to realizing financially how corrupt the system actually is. and how much we could do to fix that, and then there would be so much money left over. There's not a reason why people on SSI couldn't live a very good life, like could own an RV and like a house life. And SSDI people even better than that, and retirement people even better. There's just no reason why that couldn't exist. So I hope that if I've insulted your party of choice, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, please understand that it comes from somebody who's concerned that the Bond villains are winning, and they've been winning for a long time. And I would rather see a James Bond-like character, whether it's a group of people or it's somebody that looks nothing like James Bond, carries a far different weapon than James Bond, whoever. I'm just looking for somebody with the wit and grace of that to fix the issue, who believes in the country that much. Anyways, guys, Attorney Walter Knott, Disability Resolution PA, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, and leave 5 stars. Those 5-star reviews really, really help me out. So if you like this channel, please leave those 5 stars. In the link below, there's how to leave them with the quick URLs to take you to it. Also, every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m., I go live on YouTube, Eastern Standard Time, to answer questions for anybody that has questions about disability law. I did have somebody tell me to go F myself today because I wouldn't answer their questions when they called into the law firm, and I asked them to kindly just call me on Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. And I thought, well, I don't have to do these live sessions where I help people. And then I thought, you know what I mean? Once every 2 to 3 months, we get somebody who's really mean to me because I won't answer their question right then and there. Because 9 to 5, guys, I got to work on my client stuff. People that are looking to file for disability benefits, people who file, they need me to go ahead and represent them. I have to work on their stuff. So for the people out there watching this video who want to be, as I put it, inconsiderate, who want me and demand of me to answer their question right now, I mean, somebody told me to go, I was astounded. I don't know of any other attorney that sets aside 2 hours per week to just help the general population with disability questions. And this person just, when somebody like lets off, the brakes and just nails the gas pedal and just starts screaming and yelling at you. And maybe I'm more toned down tonight because I was just like, whatever, you know what I mean? But like at some point, and I get that some of you guys have disabilities that cause you to be in that form and that fashion, and you can never really tell when that person is like that until they heads up you about it. But at the same time, like, this person was in control. They purposely just went after me because I asked them to call me for a question not related to what the law firm does at a certain time, 8 to 10 on Thursday, and they didn't like that. And I gotta tell you guys, like, between the death threats that I get because of this YouTube channel, saying the things I do on it, between having to work my butt off in an industry that is basically falling apart. Disability benefits industry is falling apart. All the new rules that are out there, it's ridiculously hard to get onto the program now compared to how it used to be. The pay is even worse because the in-kind support maintenance rule is just being more and more and more applied. And I mostly work with the homeless and people who are fed up with the big box firms. Like, I'm the guy who has to fix the claims usually that come from these big box firms. That's where most of my clientele comes from. It's people who get angry, go online to learn about it, and then call me. Because you don't see me advertising on all these, like, TV station or top of Google, I don't advertise with that because there's no point. I can't pay the millions of dollars that these big box firms do. So people find me when they want a solution. But the problem is, the system is built to benefit the almighty dollar, and the people who have the most almighty dollars are the people who can come from an industry like PI, where there's millions and millions and millions of dollars coming in. This industry, if I was making millions and millions and millions of dollars, then I would be doing something illegal. Disability law makes very little money, and unfortunately I don't foresee it going, like, I don't see attorneys in disability law going from 25% recovery to 33% recovery. We should be at the same rate as all the other attorneys, 33%. That's what we get to recover, but I don't see it going there. I just don't see it going there, but it would be nice. But anyways, guys, Attorney Walter Knott, I hope all is well. Catch up with me during the live 8 to 10, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.